Hello there my friends, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have another Stampin' Show and Tell for you. This one is a second fun fold for the month of March in my fun fold template class. This one is referred to as the book binding fold. So you can see I've got two sections on the front of my card, and when you open it up, this 1-inch section here has been binded down to the base. So it makes the whole thing kind of like a thin, slim card, but it's still the full size body of the card. So it's just a little different, a little fun. Now this is one of the simpler fun folds, so it's really just 2 score lines and some different size papers. So it's really simple to put together. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through cutting materials, and then I'm just going to make a real simple one with the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper for you for today. Okay, so I'm going to start with my card base. I'm using Balmy Blue, and it's just a standard card base to start with, so we just need 8.5 by 5.5. So I'm just going to put that in there, trim it off at 5.5, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to score it. Now normally we score at 4 1/4, right? That's halfway. 4 1/4 is our first score. And then this one is a 1-inch binding, so we're going to go from 4 1/4 down to 3 1/4. And that's going to give our second score line for the front of our card. Okay, so there is the basic fold right there. So just 2 score lines on our base card. Okay, now for our DSP sections, okay, on the front, I'm going to use, I really like this heart paper. I know I used it earlier in the month. So this one's going to be 3 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one at 5 1/4 to start. And then turn it and do the 3-inch section this way. And then I just have this, it's about a 1-inch scrap here. Yeah, about 1 inch here. Now I could, all right, if I had this, I could just trim it down to 3/4 and use it there, and they could be the same on the front. I could flip it over. I don't really like the red with that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use a second piece of paper from this grouping. I like this blue with the stripe. So I only need 3/4 of an inch for this. So I'm going to use my measure this way, and I'm going to go to 3/4 on that side. So I'm just going to slide this in. So I'm measuring to the right of the scoring blade this time. Okay, that may be a little bit strange for some of you, but it allows us to do these skinny cuts by using the measure on that side. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch for that, and then I'm just going to turn it and I'm going to shorten it to 5 1/4. And then I'm going to have these 2 different papers on the front of my card that coordinate, right, for color and patterns, but they're a little bit different. Okay, so there's that. Now I do need a liner for my card, and it's the same size as that front panel. So again, it's 3 by 5 1/4. So I think we might be already at 5 1/4 this way. Let's see. 5 1/4. Nope, it's still 5.5. So I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4. And then I'm going to trim off 3 inches for my insert. Okay. Alright, so here's all my panels. So you want to go ahead and use your bone folder and do your creasing. Okay, so I'm going to crease at the half mark, and then I'm going to fold this back and do it like this. Now, for my directions and for this tutorial, I went with 1 inch. Okay, but if for some reason you were making a card and you wanted it to be less than 1 inch, just trim it back and then scale everything down appropriately. So, you know, nothing is set in stone. You can make adjustments to your projects as you go. All right, remember, they're your projects. These are just my ideas for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my DSP on the front. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back. Not too much, I don't want it to squish out, but enough to hold it down. I'll put this one here, so it just sits inside of those score lines. I like the way those stripes come down. And then I've got my blue and green heart panel here. So that's going here. Now, if you wanted to add ribbon to your project, and I think I want to, so let me see. I've got my soft succulent, which is pretty close to that mint macaron, so I'm going to use my soft succulent, a little contrast here. If you want to add ribbon to your project, a great way to do it is before you adhere this panel down. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off some ribbon. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 lengths of ribbon. And I'm going to lay this in here. Okay, so I'm going to put my scissors there to hold it down for a minute. So I've got my ribbon, right, and I've put it in the crease of my card. And then I'm just going to bring it up and I'm going to put a knot in it. So wherever I want my bow to be, let's see, my bow will be about, well, I'll go about in the middle, sure. Now I'm going to use a glue dot to secure that before I tie my ribbon. So just let me peel off a glue dot and use it as an anchor right there. Okay, now you could just do a second knot and make it a nice flat little flaggy bowl, or you can do 2 bunny ears and make a bow. So a knot and then 2 bunny ears, and if your fingers work, which sometimes mine do and sometimes mine don't, you can make yourself a bow. Okay, so there's my bow. You can adjust it size-wise as you go along, and then just tighten it up. Alright, so there's my bow. So I put that in first because now I'm going to adhere this binding together, right? So at this point with my bow on there, right, once you're happy with your bow, you're going to go ahead and open this up. And I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid adhesive, but you could use your seal, whatever it is you're using on your cards, projects today. Even tear and tape would work in here. So I'm going to put a little bit along that ribbon too, just to keep it from slipping. Okay, so I'm just putting my adhesive in there, and now I'm going to fold this shut, press that together. Okay, you can press it from the front too, but I've got that bow on there, so I don't really want to mess with my ribbon too much. You can open it up, and there is the binding for our cute little fold card. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to put my liner in. Of course, if you did this on a basic card, like a vanilla or a white, you wouldn't necessarily have to line it, but I'm going to line mine with basic white. Okay, so there's the basic card. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish it off. So I've done some die cutting. I have a basic white with my Stylish Shapes circle die, and I've gone and I've trimmed another circle out with that same country floral with the little bike on it, so I'm going to use that on the front. So I'm going to layer these up, I think, and put those there on the front. And then I've cut myself a banner from that same set of dies, Stylish Shape dies, and I have my Hello stamp from the Biggest Wish stamp set, right? It's this one with all these fun large sentiments. So I'm just going to stamp a hello on my banner here. I love that we can see through our photopolymer, so we can stamp right on those pre-cut tags. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm just going to have to add my 2 layers here. I think I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up on dimensionals. On my white circle. And then I'm going to adhere my circle down to my card, so it's not too big, and I'm going to put that right alongside my bow there so it all kind of ties in together. Alright, and then I've got my hello, I'm going to put down here, I'm going to put that on dimensionals too. Now here's the little trick I'm going to do. I'm going to put one of my dimensionals right there, and then this one I'm going to put in the bottom corner. And then I'm just going to put this over the top so I didn't have to guess, you know, where I was putting it down. I had one down and I put it down on top of it. So there's our card. So for the class, remember, you get a pre-made template. Yours will look different because I've used different papers. You'll get a printed out template, right, with all the measurements and instructions. You get this video you can follow along with, and then you get a practice kit. So your practice kit is made out of retired papers. That's part of why I'm doing this fun class, is because I have lots of papers to use, but they're beautiful papers. So I've sent you a sampling, right, with coordinating cardstock and paper, so you can make your own version of this, right? You just have to add your stamps and practice it before you have to do any cutting to duplicate the template. And then you've got your template, right? Remember, I hope you have your boxes for storage for your template. You keep your template so that when you want to make this one again, you can just pull out your template and then go right to work. Okay? So there you go, guys. There's our second fun fold for March. It's not too late to sign up. You can email me directly, Susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com, and I'll get you signed up and get some kits out in the mail to you. And I'll be doing this for a while. I've got about 36 fun folds at the moment, and I keep collecting more each month. So this isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. So you are welcome to join along. Now you're welcome to go ahead and ask me to do some repeats for you from previous months. I'm happy to do that for you. And it's just $12 a month. So for $12 you get 2 templates, 2 practice kits, 2 printed out tutorials, 2 videos, and that includes your shipping cost. So it's all inclusive. So go ahead and leave me comments, send me emails, let me know if you're interested in joining us, and I will get you signed up to get you started right away. Okay, everybody, I hope you had fun. Hope you do some fun stamping, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye.